Hey, welcome to the Brisbane Small Business Show. Really awesome news. We had such great response in relation to the show that I did with Dave on Tuesday about automating the process in your business, not losing clients, understanding where they were in the process and all that sort of stuff, all that really good stuff that we love to do to help your business be more efficient. So Dave, how's your week been?
It's been good. It's been very interesting. Moved into a nice little sunny spot here on the beach at the Sunshine Coast, so quite happy.
I know. So here we are in the middle of a semi-lockdown, mildly released, but then you go out and decide you're going to rent a new apartment, 100 metres from the beach. Awesome timing. You would have got a fantastic deal on that, as you said. So great move there. Were there any funny restrictions in relation to using removalists and things like that?
No, not really. We were able to do that. We weren't moving too far. Obviously Brisbane to the Sunshine Coast isn't too bad. We were able to do that in 2 loads. So, not a huge move. We've lived remotely we've traveled the world actually for the last 2 years, living remotely, running, 3 online businesses, I guess. So, we've already used to having this sort of, minimalist lifestyle, but still being able to enjoy the fruit of our labor. So yeah, living on the beach is an amazing part of that. And yeah, I get to have a good work-life balance. Got to go kite surfing yesterday, which is one of my passions. So it was, great.
Sounds like a tough life. It really does. So you're in the middle of moving, you decide that, hey, even though I'm unpacking, I might just go down and have a quick kite surf. Excellent attitude. I love it. So now you just mentioned you got 3 online businesses.
So a little bit of a backstory. My wife's from Germany. We got married in Germany last year in August, and my business was a location-based business in Brisbane. We're in the field of home automation, working for some of the biggest homes in residence and commercial properties around Brisbane, the Gold Coast, and the Sunshine Coast, and part of that process, we couldn't just shut down shop. And so we figured out a way to keep the business running whilst I was abroad for 1.5 years. And that was how we learnt this process of, automating all of the systems from the first call to how we manage contractors, to how we manage staff, to how we manage our invoicing, quoting, and all this sort of stuff. And at the same time, we figured that our business right then my main role, apart from a little bit of people management, would be to essentially promote and boost the online presence of this website. So we became our own marketing company, and we had to refine those processes, like everything that we do online. Now that I had 100% attention on the online and automation part of the business, no longer sort of working out in the field and working with people face to face, we learned how to improve that. So then we started a second business. This was the David Gregory Media, to start helping tradespeople. Then we started a third business, which was extrapolating that a bit further into web design and UX design, etc. User experience, for those who don't know what UX design is.
So you got 3, and the really cool thing here is you've got 3 businesses, and with Showcase membership of the directory, you can actually set up those other 2 businesses on the directory for no extra charge, right? And you get 3 things all at the Showcase level to have, website, to have blogs, to have videos, to have SoundClouds, that sort of stuff. You can even create events in all of the different businesses. So it's a really cool way that you can structure your listing or listings so that you can just be focused on one thing at a time. Because as soon as you try and promote 2 different things at once, as a marketer, you confuse, you lose, right? So that's really cool. So, and that's something that I guess we're guilty of not getting out there really, really well. Obviously, you didn't even know you could do that. So that's my fault. I apologize for that.
That's okay. I'm excited to extrapolate those ideas now. So,
and when we get off this call, we'll actually jump in and I'll show you really quickly in the 2-second version of how to create those extra sites. So, but more importantly, the idea of automation, it's really, really critical. Where as small business owners, we have, at least 5 different jobs within the business, because we've got to be the chief marketer, then we're the chief salesperson, then we've got to deliver the service that we just sold, then we've got to jump on and do all of the admin and stuff and collect the money and all those who do the invoicing, collect the money, all that sort of stuff, and make sure that we're being compliant and blah, 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 blah. And then if we want to come up with a new idea to expand our business, we've got to be that person too. So we're excessively busy, and it stops us from getting in the flow of delivering one thing really awesomely. But if we can automate a number of those different processes, then it helps us get in the flow to deliver better on our services. Our clients will love us more, and we can bring the automation of all of that into actually delivering more clients to us while we're not losing the prospects and leads that we're getting. Yeah?
Exactly, yeah. So I think last conversation we had on Tuesday, we touched on the in the service-based industry anyway, the people that answer the calls and the emails and the messages sooner rather than later, not an hour or two later, they're the people that win the jobs. And this, unfortunately, because of our accessibility to be able to Google something, can just go down the list. If you're not on the ball and answering those calls, then potentially you're losing that lead. So what I realized is at that point when we were in the field that I could be that single point of failure, or even just myself and my wife as, even when she is on the administration role, she could be the single point of failure. So one of the things we'll do, this was one of, I'll give away a few little secrets here. So
can we, just before you get into that, I want to bring in a really cool thing that happened just after our show on Tuesday. What happened just after the show on Tuesday?
Yeah, well, immediately, I hadn't even had time to have my breakfast yet. So we got off the phone, feeling a little famished, started to have my breakfast and coffee. And then, you'd already notified me of another member within the group that had reached out and just gave me a nudge to, make sure I jump quickly back online. And, we went through the process of, just engaging somebody and taking them through that onboarding process. They actually were able to see our listing on the directory, as well as go through some of the chatbots and whatnot to go through that automation process, I guess.
I know how awesome. Basically, we're sitting here having a chat about the thing. He was actually driving to a job and listening to it rather than watching it, and he was going, hang on, they're speaking about exactly what I need, and pulled over, listened to the show, sent it off to his partner to get even more information, said, I think this is exactly what we need. Can you just keep listening to this? I've got to get to this job and get it all sorted. And by the time he'd got there and was done sort of, called up his partner and she went, absolutely, this is what we need. And then they were straight on the phone to you. So I'm so glad that doing these shows is actually helping you get more business, helping other businesses become more efficient in what they're doing, because they're looking for ways to improve their businesses. And that's ideally the whole service that we're trying to provide here at Business Small Business. So I've got to say, I had a very proud little moment when he picked up the phone and said, hey, Kevin, I've just heard that show, and I've actually reached out to him. And I went, oh, that is so awesome. So no, it was really, really cool. Let's just go through that process. So you've done your automation process for your home automation business, which gets a little bit confusing. So so your business does home automation. So I imagine, you can tell the lights to dim and you can do stuff. Tell me a little bit more about what that particular business does. Okay, so home automation, as the name suggests, it's basically, it's the bells and whistles of the big $1 million mansions, I guess. So, but it doesn't have to be. There is, with the advancement of technology, things can become a lot more accessible to everyday people, and that's what we try to bring that into the home. But essentially, yes, you're automating the processes, everything from, not processes, your home electronics. So that could be your doorbells, your intercom, your access control, your security systems, your cameras, your audio visual, your lighting, your heating, your cooling. There's a myriad of things, and we sort of combine them all together and use
use a controlling hub and then program some features into, say, a smart device like an iPad, or perhaps it's even just a touchpad on the wall, and that enables people to be able to sort of live the life of luxury, I guess. But yeah, so this was the process, I guess, is learning how to take things from different areas that are great areas and pulling them together and connecting the dots. And that's kind of what you do with electronics. And this is kind of what I tried to do outside of that particular trade, and thought, well, apply the same principles, like take this bit of software, take this bit of software, take this practice, take this service from somebody else, because some of the automation I was about to tell you before, that it still involves people, and it involved another business, and it does involve, I think you've got a bunch of answering services on the directory, and it involves that as well, but you're pulling in pieces together, joining the dots and creating your own little automated ecosystem. And I kind of tried to take those learnings from the automation business and put it into something else.
And I love that. I love the fact that you're collaborating with other business in delivering a greater service of what you do, right? So, and that's one of the challenges quite often. That's another one of the challenges quite often as a small business owner is, hey, I'm one person and I can only reach this far, but if I actually work with other people, that expands out quite dramatically. So, how we can help people gets to be a much bigger sphere. And it doesn't mean that everything we do, we have to involve every other member of that group. And it doesn't mean that we have to work exclusively with every member of that group. It means that by dropping the fear of, but if I work with others, they might find out what I'm doing and they might steal that, and getting over that and getting into, if we work together, we can create a much better product at the end of the day. Yes,
exactly. So do you want me to tell you what I was about to divulge a little bit earlier? Okay, so what? Obviously, I couldn't pick up the phone anymore. So you can have the centralized number. I believe it's no good to just have your mobile number on there, because you can be called at all times of the day. Work-life balance is a very important thing. So you can have a centralized number. That's fine. It gets diverted to your mobile, but still, that is your phone is still ringing hot, and then you can't deliver the service to the client when you're being distracted. So centralized number. So there were three to four components for this. One was a centralized number. Two was the CRM ServiceMate that we were using for trade and service-based businesses. And three was Google Sheets, and just a basic spreadsheet, and using Zapier as the connector between those three. So we had an answering service that would pick up the phone on, within 5 rings, and they're always answering the phone with an Australian receptionist with your business brand name, and they're taking down your name, phone number, your client's name, phone number, email. They're putting it into a spreadsheet, and then what happens from there? So we connected to Zapier then, and I've got this in the blog that we posted on the directory. So we connect that to Zapier, and as soon as they enter in the last cell, it triggers off an email straight away to the client to say, thank you for contacting us. Dave will be in contact with you as soon as possible. At the very same time, I had so the spreadsheet becomes the mainframe for the other automation. So then that would then trigger off the next, which would notify our contractors that there was a new incoming job. And then we would have, from there, I could have that spreadsheet also trigger off an automation to import the client data into ServiceMate. So then that manual input has then been taken out. The receptionist has done that. Or you can connect it to the web inquiry and or chatbot form so that this pre-fills into the spreadsheet. So you've got the receptionist, you've got your website contact form, you've got a chatbot. They're all filling in this spreadsheet unbeknown to them. And as they complete that, you're getting the notification. I'm overseas, I'm getting the notification. My contractors are getting the notification. Then when they respond to me, so they would respond to those emails. Then I had a virtual assistant. So I couldn't, that was what I had to use whilst being abroad. So we had a virtual assistant that would then fulfill the requests within the software. And then, our contract, we could see in real time our contractors by using ServiceMate if they were going out and, fulfilling the services. and then job gets done, business is still running accordingly, and invoicing is still happening, reconciliation is still happening, and then the last piece of the puzzle, we're sending out the 3-day aftercare message that would say, like, hey, we've recently done a service for you. How's our service? Would you kindly like to leave us a review on Google? And you'd have your Google review link from the Google My Business platform, which unfortunately right now, because of COVID-19, I'm not sure if you've experienced this, Kevin, but the Google My Business platform has sort of frozen up. They must have restricted hours. But anyway, I digress.
There's a little bit of that. And if anybody has then reached out to register for Google My Business, really good segue here. I was lamenting that back in October, I went to Google My Business for business, small business. Yes, up until then we didn't have it. Anyway, so I put the application in sometime in October. By the time I'd got back from New Year's, having Christmas holiday and stuff, I was going, I still haven't got this bloody Google card, and I waited and waited and waited, and I went, that's it. I'm going to have to ask for another card. You all know where this is going. The very next day, that card arrived. But because we'd ordered a new card, you can't put in the earlier number. So we had to wait another 8 or 9 weeks before the next card came up. And just as that happened, that's when the whole COVID stuff went. But what I've heard rumors from the Google experts that, hey, where it was taking 6 to 8, maybe even 9 weeks before, you're now looking at least 13 weeks and anything up to 20. So that's just the rumors there. So yes, proceed with Google My Business. The faster you get onto it, the better. But be prepared to be a little bit patient.
Yeah, that's right. I have noticed that as well. And I posted in our video last time. That was a nice, if people are unaware of it, they should create that profile. If they've already got it approved, then they should go and find out where that review link is, and they should put that in as many places as possible to encourage people to sort of, spread the word about your business. And especially if you're in a service-based industry, people, validity is what people go for when they're looking at these reviews. So this is exactly what you need to encourage.
Validity? Do you mean validity?
Like once you've messed it up once, you've messed it up twice.
I know. I do that all the time, so don't worry about that. So look, I love the process that you got, that as soon as someone calls in, it could be either you, or you could have transferred your phone off to a virtual assistant. As soon as they've filled in the last cell and hit enter, a letter's going back to the person saying thanks. We've got your information. We're onto it. Awesome. Your contractor's getting notified. They're then contacting them, organising to do stuff. And so basically, because of the work that you've done up front, you're not missing any clients. They're feeling personally looked after straight away. They've spoken to a human being, so they're less likely to then call another 16 different competitors. You've got chatbots involved to get a quick little survey of exactly what the person's after, and that information is going straight into your stuff. You're then able to follow the work that your contractor's doing and any interaction there because of how you've got that. And even the aftercare process, you've automated then to get reviews put up into Google Review. We're even going to talk to you about how you might be able to get reviews onto business, small business at the same time. So they've only got to type the one review. It goes to both places because that would be really, really cool. That is an awesome process and so valuable for any business. I love how you've got your Just Go design. You've also got, obviously, very entrepreneurial. You're still running your home automation business, and then you're helping people with this, with the integration and automation side of things. Mate, it seems like you're doing a superhuman amount of work, which is all capable because you're doing your automation.
Yeah, 100%. It isn't easy. Like it may seem. Sorry, before I had to plug the power into the laptop.
Said the guy who has moved house and managed to go windsurfing during the week while servicing his customers.
Yeah, well, as I was about to say, it isn't easy, but it's still, despite the belief, this is, it's still like a 40, 50 hour a week endeavor. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the work is fun. It's not a chore to me. I enjoy building things. I enjoy building processes, and it's always evolving. And yeah, so the beauty of us living so close to the beach is, quick hour break, reset the mind, get a bit of movement happening, get out of the chair, get out of the office, and get back to it.
Look, I got to say, huge fan of what you're doing. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Congratulations on Anthony reaching out to you straight after our last show. I hope some more people do after this one. I'm going to show you how to get all three businesses set up under the one, under three different profiles, but for the same price, for no extra money from the Showcase membership. Congratulations. Thanks for coming back on and having a bit more detailed chat.
No, I appreciate the opportunity, Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, mate. I'll catch you later.
Cheers. Bye.